Hello plant people, how are you guys doing today? If you're new around here, my name is Ashley and we are going to plant garlic today. So this is a method that I have used for starting flower bulbs, scallions, onions, and garlic. Yes, garlic. So if you're forgetful like I was and you forgot to put your bulbs outdoors last fall, this is a solution for you. So I started these about a week ago to get them a head start before I could get into the actual garden. It was still blizzarding here last week, to put it all into perspective for you. So desperate times call for desperate measures, and all you need to do is simply fill up a dish with water and then put your bulbs in that dish with the root portion facing down, and you can see I've got some beautiful white roots forming and I have a little bit of sprouting action as well. And then from there, we're actually going to plant them in the garden. So this helps you get a head start and keep up with everyone else and where everyone else is at without the stress of having to dig in a blizzard, right? So this is a great solution, and these are from the grocery store. I just went to the 50% off section at Superstore and grabbed some sprouted bad garlic, and these will grow just fine in these conditions here. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to plant these up, but try this trick out, you will enjoy it. So here I have this bed behind me. My husband made this for me last year. Actually, he made it for himself because his pond is right there. That's his little fishy pond that he enjoys, and it's getting renovated this year. It's going to be a little bit bigger, but he wanted me to grow vining plants over this to shade it out a little bit. So he built this for himself in an absolute panic, and inside of it he put legitimate dirt, so soil. And I personally find this to be a little bit too small to warrant using legit soil in, and if it would have been my choice and he would have told me what he was doing, I probably would have just put in potting soil, but that's okay. We can still dig or deal with this. But one thing, when I do get small beds like this that have soil in them, I do kind of do like a mini double dig, just to try to loosen things up, because it is very heavy and it compacts very quickly. So I did that, and then next what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to apply my fertilizer. So in this bed I'm using Flora Blends, and I'm going to put this in the bed in the top 2 inch, and it has sulfur in it. So sulfur is very important for the smell, the flavor, all that stuff of onions, scallions, and garlic. That's what gives it its very pungent, unique odor and style. So I'm going to be moving or incorporating this into that soil, and then I'm going to pot up. So I'll let you watch the process, because I know some of you do enjoy that, especially if you've never seen this before. So I'll incorporate my granular, and I will probably put it on fast forward. I'm sorry if I bend over and moon you. So I don't prescribe to any specific modality with fertilizer. This is inorganic fertilizer. I'll use organic. I do what I feel. I'll actually do a hybrid between the two, because I do think the secret is somewhere in between. Incorporating high levels of organic material along with synthetics can really achieve some pretty amazing results. So this is like my hybrid mix. I will still mulch this organically, and then I will probably fertilize with liquid organic every odd time. But you just want to make sure you really incorporate this into the top layer of soil. In an ideal world, it would not be topped, like broadcasted on top, only because volatilization kind of is something that's always in the back of my head. So the next question in planting garlic becomes, well, how do I actually plant this, or how do I gauge how deeply to plant these? So if you didn't, I have done videos on how to plant garlic, and I also have I believe I have a blog post on this as well. But you want to separate these individually. I find if you pre-soak your bulbs, they come off a little bit nicer, and it does leave that original scab on the plant because the bottom is so nice and moist. So you just want to pull these off. And the nice part about pre-soaking is we can actually get an idea of whether or not that bulb is any good and viable. So you can see on this one, it may not necessarily have sprouted, there's no greenery, but we do have these beautiful white roots that are nice and firm, which indicates this is a fresh root, and this bulb is slow, but she's alive and ready to go. Conversely, if you have the very obvious green sprout coming out the top with the roots. It's obviously very viable, but these guys, I mean, they've been in there for a while now, and I don't see any root action, and I don't see any green. So those guys are going into the supper bin tonight. So the next question becomes, how do we plant this versus this versus this depth-wise? So I'm going to bring you down a little bit closer, take my face out of the frame, and actually show you what I'm going to do with these. I do apologize for the camera shadow there and the sun, but that is life. So when you plant these guys in, if you're planting one that looks like this, that only has the roots and no actual stem yet, we can plant these guys a little bit deeper. So I'm going to put him in about that deep and then just place it over. There's no real wrong answer to this. Actually, I have to leave that uncovered. I need to remember where these guys are still at. Okay, so that's how deep he's going to be. And then I'm going to plant my next one right around here. And he has a little bit of a stem on. So because he has some greenery, I want at a minimum that greenery to be exposed outside of the soil. So that's what that guy's going to look like. And this guy has a ton of greenery. So I'm actually going to put him right here. And again, I want this section here that kind of looks like a stem versus a leaf. I want this to be partially in the ground, but partially in the ground. So I'm going to put the soil to about here. But you can see there's like a drastic kind of cutoff here. Stem versus kind of like a leaf looking thing. That's what we want to do there. So that's the depth I'm going to go with that guy. And you're done. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this garlic planted up. I hope someone finds this semi-helpful. It's not sciencey, but it is very practical for people who have busy lives who may have forgotten last fall to actually put their garlic in the ground. And that goes, again, for any bulb. If you want to start them early indoors and actually see what's viable and what's going to sprout on you, using like some sort of a water dish is a great way to do it. It doesn't cause really any extra stress to the plant so long as you get them transplanted outdoors while those roots are still kind of those nub roots rather than a whole root system. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and let me know in the comments down below if you've tried this before and with what plants it worked, because it's going to help out a ton of other people who may or may not be late to the game on specific plant growing. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.